I've been able to collect a pretty good collection for video game characters. Of course, some PlayStation greats with Last of Us, New Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, and not Sony, but Nintendo with Mario. Both of these being classic style minifigures with designs by SJ Bricks, and tying in today another Minibigs and SJ Bricks collab with their Pulp Fiction set. So got two of those. We have another new set of Minibigs minifigures in that video game PlayStation lineup, being the two characters from The Witcher here. Of course, just in their plastic bags, so no crazy packaging or anything, but we have Geralt and one of the other companions. So let's check these out. I'm going to start with Yennefer, since she is kind of the more simple minifigure, no accessories. The leg skirt type piece or dress piece, unprinted. So all of the printing is on the torso and the head, and no back torso printing on this minifigure even. Honestly, I was looking at reference images trying to find something that this is based on, and I can't find an exact match, so I think this is more based on the show from what I'm seeing, not necessarily the game, which I think is surprising. But it's not, like I said, not an exact match to anywho. It's like the idea of her. I think the face print is honestly pretty nice with the darker pink for the lips. You get a little bit of like upper eye shadow along the eyes, and then black pupils, black eyebrows. So nothing super crazy on the torso. I do kind of like the use of the gray as like abstract coloring, or abstract space for the coloring, where it would seem like she has like a jacket on of some sort. But again, didn't find a direct reference for this. I did find with the Netflix show that the sort of necklace amulet that she has seems pretty similar to that, and the floral sort of pattern also present in one of the costumes from the show. So that's what's making me think this is show-based. But obviously, I guess it could go both ways. If you want it to be video gamey, it is video gamey enough, I guess. One downside, it's yellow. So it matches classic Lego designs and not necessarily more modern. Would have loved to seen this in flesh. I think it would have been better in flesh. Honestly, I feel like the yellow on this looks really bad, where there's like gray very much showing on this area overall. And then just the color match isn't 100% perfect. So that's a bummer. Don't love to see that. I do like the black hairpiece here. I don't know, not a lot to say since it is just the two prints. It is kind of crazy to see three different colors on the head. So for being a classic minifigure, obviously that wouldn't have happened. Like I said, the shaping on the torso looks nice. The transition from the bottom of the torso to the dress looks good, where it is black to black. That looks fine. Even the little bit of gray kind of angling down there for just a seam line, I'm sure. Simple design is what it is. Let's move on to Geralt. Then Geralt, however you want to pronounce that. Hopefully I pronounce it right at some point in the video. Comes with a sword accessory. Not a classic knight sword. This is one of the more modern knight swords, so they're really conflicting themselves here with what they're going for design-wise. The hairpiece is kind of nice, being that what I believe was originally used for Dumbledore in the Harry Potter line. That's where that first came from. Sword, nothing special, no printing on that or anything. So I'll just take that off, get it out of the review. Again, no leg printing here, but there is back torso printing, which will continue some of the strap designs, belt designs that are on the front. And really like the gold print for the eyes. I think that looks kind of cool and gives him his kind of Witcher look for the eyes, since I know those end up being a little bit orangier, but gold's a cool look too to represent that. And on the back, you also get like kind of the stubbly armor design of whatever kind that's supposed to be, whether it's like a chainmail of some sort. I think that is kind of a nice subtle way to do that. Maybe that is kind of how they did it in like the 90s for different castle minifigures, and that's what inspired them here. You also get like the necklace for the Witcher. I think that's what that represents. Again, not really like how it is in the games. I think that is very show-based. So again, didn't find direct representation for this in games or the shows. It's kind of a conglomerate of all the designs. It's sort of like the essence of this is The Witcher. So that is interesting to see that for both of these characters, where it isn't a perfect match to one medium or the other. But I guess it doesn't hurt. If you're a Witcher fan, you'd get it anyway. Do like the contrast of like the dark bluish gray for the like straps. It is kind of interesting to see that there is no like line work to break up the different straps, where it just is like the one solid color. other than like the little bit of belt with the black there, which is a nice little bit of line work, being very thin, looks good. I guess that won't even be printed. That's just where there is no ink since the torso is black. I'm sure that is how they did that. Even like little holes for the belt also look really good, and you get silver for the necklace and for the belt loop there. And I guess with the necklace too, the little wolf in there is also probably not printed. So that's a really nice fine bit of line work, stubble. I think this is pretty representative of some of those castle minifigures. I'm thinking of like the bowl type bad guy castle people. It had the same sort of stubble design there. Expression's kind of funny, where it's just kind of like an angry sort of frown, where the eyebrows and the mouth are pretty much the same shape. Same goes for the back, where I mentioned like the sort of line work dividing the sort of strap. I do really like the fine work that they did there. Looks great. And again, simple minifigure, not a lot to go over. I do really like the metallic prints. Those add a lot to the minifigure. I think the hairpiece definitely fits the character here and kind of screams game a little bit more to me than show because of that. Obviously, when they're very simple like this, it's hard to really tell who it's supposed to look like. But I'm glad to be getting a Witcher minifigure of some sort, especially at a cheaper price versus like the Legend CMOC $100-ish plus version, which I was tempted by, but didn't end up grabbing just because of the price at the time. Maybe that's something I would look into eventually. I don't even think it's out yet, the video game version, which is the one I would want versus the show version. But great attempt by Minibigs. Let's move to some comparisons and the final verdict. Maybe it's a custom hot take for me, but I'll say it. I don't love classic styled minifigures. I feel like it's a dumb gimmick. I mentioned in one of my reviews for these more classic styled ones that if I want a character, I want it to be the best it can be, and if you're going to purposely make it look bad, what's the point? I definitely kind of feel that a little bit here, where I want the best version of these characters and at a cheaper rate, which is what Minibigs can typically do. These aren't even designed poorly. They have a decent amount of detailing, but they're made yellow for no reason. And there's just the little things about them, like they don't have the white pupils. So they're just missing like the easy details to make it just a little bit better. It is a collab with SJ Bricks again, I think, so tie in with Kratos. Or maybe that wasn't even one of the collabs, but it is the same sort of style that SJ Bricks would do. So that makes sense. They only do classic stuff for the most part, or it's like a 50-50 split, which is kind of why I got out of collecting them. I just want more detailed minifigures, because like, look at Joel here with the amount of detailing that we have going on. That is pretty much the level of detail I want in a minifigure. I mean, even look at the official Alloy minifigure. Amazing. You can just do so much more, especially for these video game characters, where I don't really feel like there are a lot of companies putting out video game minifigures. So when they do, and they put out like SJ Bricks did here for Mario, just a dude with a mustache, it's just boring. And it isn't necessarily one I want to get, but if it's what's available and the only option, I guess I'm going to pick it up. That's definitely how I felt with the Pulp Fiction minifigures that SJ Bricks and Minibigs did, where no one else has put out these minifigures, but the ones that are out there that I was able to buy just aren't amazing. So it's frustrating. Like I said, there are a lot of positives to these. I do like all the metallic printing going on. And honestly, even the facial expressions aren't super bad, but they're on yellow, so it just doesn't fit in the rest of my collection. Which is nitpicky. Maybe I'm complaining a little bit too much, but that's just how I feel about classic style. Just want to get that out there. Obviously, saying that's not going to change these at all, and I'm sure not going to really influence him for minifigures he'd make in the future, but that's just my 2 cents here. Let me know, what do you think of these minifigures, especially with Kratos next to them all being kind of in this trilogy of classic Sony characters. I feel like Kratos definitely turned out a little bit better since he's on white. Makes it a little less obvious that he's standing out. But I guess I could go either way on these. I think Geralt the Witcher looks pretty decent again. If it just had a better head, I think that would definitely put it up another tier. If you want to see more custom LEGO minifigure reviews or other LEGO content overall, check out all the videos on my channel. I have been Brick Radiop, and I will see you in the next video.